Welcome back to Newsmax Now. A new report says intelligence officials found secretive and highly classified information on Hillary Clinton's private email server. This according to Fox News. That's right. A letter from the Inspector General of the intelligence community reveals that Clinton's server had classified emails as special access programs, a classification beyond top secret. And joining us now for more on this and to go in depth is investigative reporter Sarah Westwood from the Washington Examiner, also with The Hill's Brent Budowsky. Brent, let's start with you. We've had this type of information drip out in the past. Is there anything in here that makes you any more concerned about the viability of Hillary Clinton's status and her legality, really, to run for president?
Well, it depends what ultimately comes out. When I worked for Democratic leaders in Congress, I was in the inner loop for a long time on CIA operations and on highly classified stuff. And one thing I learned is to be very careful about news reports from people who haven't seen the original document or people with a bias who claim to have seen it. So I'm going to be careful right now, and I want to see what actually comes out. Yes, if there was a document that says marked clearly classified, top secret, et cetera, that becomes a greater problem if that happened. But I'm going to be very cautious and not jump to any conclusions based on leaks that probably came from Congress, probably from Republicans, about a document that I haven't seen. I'll just wait and let the FBI do its job and let the Justice Department do its job.
Well, it could be coming from the FBI too. Sarah, you've been covering this story very closely in all the Hillary Clinton email issues. You also have a news story about the fact that Hillary Clinton was offered a state-issued BlackBerry that could mask her identity, but but it would still be subject to public information request, or information request, I guess. The suggestion went to top aide Uma Abedin, but she turned it down. Tell us why.
Well, we're unsure why this information that you just cited, it came from a few emails that were released through the Freedom of Information Act this week. We don't really know the reasoning behind the Hillary Clinton's decision not to take the State Department issued BlackBerry. But the Freedom of Information Act did come up, and that's significant because a lot of Hillary Clinton's critics have said at the heart of this whole email server situation was a desire to avoid the Freedom of Information Act. Now, we may never know why Hillary Clinton actually did set this up, but these new emails, they feed into a narrative that this was all done to avoid accountability.
All right, so we'll keep our eye on that aspect of it. Another story involving Hillary Clinton. Yesterday, she used the MLK holiday to talk about the water crisis in Flint, Michigan, saying that clean water is not just a health issue, but also a civil rights issue.
We would be outraged if this happened to white kids, and we should be outraged that it's happening right now to black kids.
Clinton also said something similar during the debate Sunday night. The Democrats obviously see an opening here to use this to attack Republicans. But Brett, is she being too opportunistic here? I mean, she's not running for the governor of Michigan. Why is she being so aggressive towards Rick Snyder?
Oh, on this, I think she's absolutely right. What is happening in Flint, Michigan is a moral crime at minimum. It is true that if it had happened to wealthier white folks, there would have been a bigger stink long ago. I think the governor has performed abominably. I frankly, if you want to know what I really think, I think the governor should join Rahm Emanuel in resigning for the way that they've acted in these issues that involve blacks and poor people. I think it's a disgrace.
Sarah, you've also been covering this. You say, Hillary says that she's the reason Governor Snyder is asking for federal help, but he disputes that claim, even going as far as calling her comments a distraction. Why is that?
Well, Hillary Clinton said she did an interview on MSNBC, and then 2 hours later, Governor Snyder announced that he had declared a state of emergency, was seeking FEMA funding. So she was saying basically she successfully pressured Governor Snyder into doing this, which isn't the case if you look at the actual timeline of when he requested federal assistance. I mean, obviously this is a tragedy. No one's saying that it isn't. A lot of people dropped the ball. Governor Snyder's probably in that group. But there were a lot of other people involved, including Democrats, that ignored this problem. Specifically, the EPA was nowhere to be found for months, and the EPA was aware of this problem, and it's really primarily their duty to take care of these kinds of issues. So while Governor Snyder is taking probably some deserved criticism right now. It's being trained on him because Michigan is one of these states that could easily flip for Republicans in the 2016 race, and it's important for Hillary Clinton to find a way to connect with Michigan voters. This is a great way to do it.
That's really it, Brent. We got about 30 seconds left to go. Don't you think that Hillary Clinton sees the opportunity here? This is one of those battleground states that she has to win, and that's why she jumped in so quickly to make this a campaign issue.
Oh, I think that, and black voters, and Bernie Sanders, by the way, has done it. And let me add, I hope all Republicans would join Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders and condemn the governor's behavior. This should not be partisan. We should not have one person, young person, black person, or white person, get killed or diseased or harmed.
I think we can all agree on that.
preventable
I don't think we can
like
agree,
this.
though, that she's not making it partisan. I think she's part of the problem there in that aspect. Brent Budowsky, thanks so much for
She's
being with
running
us.
for president. What do you expect?
True. I shouldn't be so naive, right, Brent? Sarah Westwood, also from the Washington Examiner, thanks for being with us. We're coming back with more.